This video is going to be on how to squeegee a window. So there are two different techniques to squeegeeing a window. The first and easier, more of a beginner technique is called the straight pull, where you're going to take the squeegee and pull it straight down in multiple sections. This method is okay, but it does tend to leave little streaks going down the side of the window. So the method that we prefer is called the S technique, where you're going to move your squeegee in an S-like pattern back and forth. I'll show you how to do both of them. So super important that your window is always super wet while you're squeegeeing it. The more soap and water you have on the window, the better your squeegee will glide and the easier it will be to clean the window nicely. If you ever notice your squeegee catching and you're not getting a great squeegee on the window, you probably need a little bit more soap and water on the window. So the first technique I'm going to show you is called the straight pull. So I'm going to put my squeegee at the top of the window. I'm going to pull straight down, and I tried to dry it off a little bit so I don't leave as many streaks on the left side here. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. I'm going to pull straight down. Do the same thing where I dry off my squeegee. So I'm always leaving a little bit of room on the side here. If you went right up next to it, you would get streaks down the middle. Now you can see the window is perfectly squeegeed. Next up, I will show you the S technique. The next technique is called the S technique. You're going to start with your squeegee upside down on the left side of the window. I'm doing this because I'm right-handed. If you were left-handed, you would do it the opposite way. So the first thing I'm going to do is move my squeegee to the left side and bring my right side of the squeegee to this corner. As I'm moving it over, you can see my squeegee is now straight up and down. And as I get to this corner, I'm at an angle. Now what I'm going to do is try to keep this spot here on the left side of my squeegee in the same place as I bring my squeegee down. And I'm going to go all the way down the right side of the window. And then I'm going to start lifting up. And squeegeeing in this type of pattern. One of the hardest parts of squeegeeing the window is called closing out the window, where you take the rest of your squeegee and you bring it down like that. I'll show you another example next. So the goal of the S technique is that you never have to lift up your blade until you are completely done squeegeeing the window. Using this method, you're able to go a lot more efficiently than you are with the straight pull, and you do tend to end up with less streaks. It's also nice because if you make a mistake, like I just did there, for example, you can turn around and you can squeegee that same area without lifting your blade. Closing out the window is one of the harder things to do while you're squeegeeing. This means the last bottom half as you're coming through. You have two options of closing it out. Either going straight across and ending on the side. Your second option of closing out the window is ending on the bottom. You squeegee across like this, and you end in the corner. If you ever have walls that stick out a little bit further, where it's kind of awkward to get your hand in there, that's where I like to close out going down. If you ever have a ledge like this, it might be a little bit easier to close out on the side. When I'm squeegeeing, I try my best to always keep the squeegee at chest level to get the best quality. I try to only use the step stool where necessary. Here, I could probably reach up on my tippy toes and get the very top of the window, but I feel like my quality would not be the best. In this one, I'm also using an 18-inch squeegee, so you can see the difference in efficiency when you use the larger sizes. So I'm going to start this in the same way. Now I will show you an example of me doing a straight pull with the 18-inch squeegee. I'm going to dry that off. And then I'm going to leave a good 3 to 4 inches on that side, making sure that I don't leave a ton of streaks. Another important thing to note when you're squeegeeing is the angle that you have your squeegee sitting on the window. If you have it too flat, you're going to end up leaving streaks. And if you have it too direct, you're also going to end up leaving streaks and you kind of scratch the window. You want your squeegee to be at a perfect angle like this, where you don't leave any streaks. And it is also easiest to control. So final few things to point on is that you don't want to be squeegeeing too light because you might end up leaving streaks. You also don't want to squeegee too hard because you would have a chance of breaking the window. And again, you do want to have the correct angle on your squeegee. So you do not want to be too flat. You also don't want to be too direct. It should be at about this angle here.